everybody, welcome to another show of Cleaning and Cocktails. You guys know the deal. It's when I bring on industry experts from all over the cleaning space that are helping empower the community, helping give value back to the space. For all you small business owners, medium-sized business owners, and even the large business owners that are just looking to gain some more knowledge and just hear some more stories about success in the space. So today, I got the pleasure of bringing on two great friends, partners. They've been awesome on the journey of my life in this industry. I got Michael Brown from Swept. I got Armando Bello from Janitorial Store. I know, Michael, you've been on the show before. Yep. People have seen Armando on a lot of our route videos. But again, just kind of give the audience a little refresher on who you guys are.
I'm the CEO of Swept, software in the industry, helping with operations. I built a cleaning company, went from one city to a second to a third before selling it and focusing on Swept. And that's really how you and I connected. You became a very early customer and have had huge success with your cleaning company. And again, we're going to be talking today about some of the things we're partnering on.
Yes. Awesome. Armando.
Awesome. My name's Armando Bello, CEO of the Janitorial Store. I actually started off with Ricky on the Rosolato side, cleaning, sales, marketing on that end, and then moved over to Route about 4 or 5 years ago. And now, since we've acquired the Janitorial Store, I lead that helm. So now we're going to be talking about what that partnership looks like, what we have in store in the future, ISSA stuff. So a lot of exciting news.
Now, one thing that I wanted to get you guys going on, people may have heard now the Cleaning and Cocktails live event that we're going to be putting on, right? And I wanted to use this space, this environment, because if you guys have seen, it is powered by our three brands, right? So Route, Swept, Janitorial Store. Like, what does that mean, right? We went to the show at ISSA back in Vegas for the first time together at a booth. You know, what are you guys doing?
A lot of questions. What's going on?
A lot of questions.
What
does it look
for
like?
More structure and understanding.
Yeah. So I just wanted to jump off with the phrase that we used that I think has stuck, that I think that we're going to be expanding on, right? Is the whole win with Route, run with Swept, learn with Janitorial Store. You know, Michael, what was your take when we first came together to go there? And then leading to what we're doing now with Cleaning Cocktails, what was that first initial thought you had when we were presented this?
Yeah, I think everyone who's in the industry sees, you know, whether you're a business owner with your cleaning company or you're a vendor, partner helping, there's such this wide spectrum of what you need to do to be successful in a cleaning business. It's not just one piece of software or just education. There's this whole thing. And we started looking at, we all serve the same group of people. How do we work together to actually empower them together instead of it just being like, you know, some people use Swept and some people let's look at how our brands can work together to support the industry. And it kind of kicked off with the ISSA of like, let's just get together in the booth and spend some time connecting with everybody. I think it's really started to morph from there. We've, you know, with the live event that we had last year, and then what we have coming up again this year.
Yeah. Armando, what did you think?
Yeah, I think that's exactly it, right? Is being able to empower the cleaning industry, right, in such a way that it allows them to start somewhere, right, run somewhere, and then learn, right, kind of like the motto, right? So I think that the tools and the platforms that we provide them, you know, as they start to grow their companies, as they start to operate or even scale them, right, we've partnered up in such a way that it really does allow them to know what they're doing, where they're doing it, and how they're doing it, right? So I think starting off with ISSA, I think that was great. It allowed us to get in the door, right, in some way, shape, or form, try to get a feel for what everybody's thoughts were around this whole idea. And just the feedback that we got was great, right? Yeah. Is, man, you guys are really solving a problem, right? And that's essentially what we want to do. We want to be able to solve a problem, provide a solution, and again, just empower the industry so they know how to go about business, right? Because at the end of the day, that's the biggest struggle is how do I go about my day-to-day, right? So I think that combining the three in some way, shape, or form is really allowing the cleaning industry owner to really just have an understanding and the support system there. Yeah. So
it's like creating that roadmap. You know, you take 1,000 cleaning companies, there's 990, they're run so many different ways. It's not like there's one standard. People will look at your company and say, I want to be like you, Rick. How do I do this? Or they'll look at other people's companies. And you had to figure it out. Everyone is figuring it out on their own. So it's like, we're building that roadmap together. Like, this is how you become successful. This is the system.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's, I mean, Michael, you probably have a little more insight on this than both of us, but in our space, brands don't usually work together this much, right? Or, you know,
true.
It's integrations. Yes, those happen all the time, but like, we all have one mission, right? We all are going towards the same goals. We are working together, collaborating together. And ISSA was just the first of many that we have coming for everybody, right? Yeah. And put our brands aside, it's what are the brands solving that I think really people resonate with. Where again, do you have to go through all of us and use everything that we have to offer? No, but we'll help you guide you in the right direction.
Yeah.
But we just wanted to make it easier, like you said, to have a roadmap. People need a playbook.
Totally.
Right?
Yep, exactly.
We're almost your digital playbook on how to start, where to go from there, how do you want to end, right? Because Michael, you do a good job, and so you guys know, as we talk about cleaning cocktails, Michael has a great talk that he's going to have on mindset. It's people need to think of all of that, right? Is when I started, where I'm at in between, am I going to sell the company? To sell the company, what do you have to do to get there? Because if you don't have your books in order, right, and if you don't have things in place, nobody's going to buy you.
Yeah.
Right? So it's the evolution from one employee or one sole proprietor to a business.
It's a real shame when you see someone at the end of their career, they're getting ready to retire, and all they have to sell is the contracts. They don't actually have the business to sell because no one wants to buy. It's like, so you work 24/7 and you've been doing this like for how long? Like you own a job, right? You don't have an asset, right? You have all the contracts that you've won. And so creating that structure, I think that's a lot of what we do is like bring them through that so they can build that company they actually want to own. Then they have an asset.
Yeah. It's funny because I know you may be upset about this janitorial store thing here, but let's move that aside. Okay, let's move that aside here. So when we talked to Steve and Gene, we're I brought you guys in, Armando, and janitorial store was this opportunity. Like me and Michael had always been talking already. We knew Route Swept, just us in general, were going to be working together.
Yeah.
But we had a missing piece, right? To me, it's like if software and tech can only do so much. Bringing in the education piece. That's something we would talk about. Like, hey, let's coach, let's mentor, let's do that. It's time consuming. Like it needs its own direction, right? So
I think it's a passion of ours. Like we want to.
Yeah.
I have clients.
But we're not the right at this moment.
Exactly. Yeah. So
and I think even when it came to developing Route, right? First creating a solution for that front end sales process, but then also as we would speak to customers, members and things like that, or even just your regular business owner, is a lot of these business owners dealt with the same problems, right? And being able to provide now a solution and avenue for us to help them throughout that process, I think that's huge, right? So what we wanted to do was create something within Route, but now that this opportunity came up, now it's like, all right, well, how do we work together in some way, shape, or form to still pursue that passion, right? Like you said, it's being able to help them, right? Create that support, so that we're able to.
It's a channel for us where, me and you talked about it, Mike, where it's like, yes, we have software, we're solving some stuff, right? And again, the purpose of all this is coming to why we're putting on all these things together is, if we wanted to add a coaching element to our software or an LMS educational, but we're no longer focused on what we do great.
Exactly.
Right? It's the things that we, us, sales, front end, right? Helping get the business, drive revenue, offer lead.
Yeah.
You, workforce management solutions, like
you win that contract. Now you have to actually function and manage that and the operation side of it, right? And so you need. There's not one that's more important than the other. There's no point getting a bunch of sales with no ops. And there's no point having this well-tuned business if you can't get leads.
The missing piece was they need ongoing coaching. They need ongoing training. They need the business side of that we can't bring. So again,
an actual roadmap, right? Because essentially we get a lot of business owners, right, that are great at, hey, I have this new account. I'm great at cleaning. I love cleaning. I come from the cleaning industry, right? And you start to gain traction there, right? And you start to gain more business. But do you have an actual checklist that says, hey, this is how your business should be structured, right? These are the platforms and solutions that you should be utilizing, implementing in order for you to further your vision, your desire, your passion. At the end of the day, I feel like a lot of business owners, they built their company so that they can pass it on to somebody else, right? So they can have a successful company. But where we fall short is we don't have the processes. We don't have the procedures. We don't have a checklist or a roadmap, right? Like you mentioned earlier, in order for us to get there, right? So being able to now solve the solutions from how to win, a sale, how to operate it, right, an account, and then how to continue learning so that you are checking things off in order for you to become essentially what you've envisioned throughout the whole journey. So
a lot of nuggets.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of nuggets, guys. So,
I hope so.
So I want to bring it to, again, the why we're here, right? What are we doing next about this is we got Cleaning and Cocktails Live coming up, right? Our second event after this first one. But before we get into this one, what did we learn from that first event that we hosted in Chicago? For those of you that came, thank you so much.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So it's kind of interesting because I'm not sure what podcast you were on, but you were on a podcast and someone mentioned something about, Rick, you should have an event. And then you start getting a bunch of inbound. People are asking you like on LinkedIn and stuff like, oh, are you hosting an event? Are you hosting an event? And then you flipped it over to me. You're like, geez, I got this event. I'm putting an event together, I guess. And, it was so quick.
No idea.
And the two
I wasn't in that group chat, but not at that time, but I was added in later on.
and then we started thinking about this. And quite honestly, I was pleasantly surprised by, the event space was beautiful. It's your office, but we couldn't bring in 1,000 people. Like we sold out in a week and it was jam-packed full, but it was this size that people were open to be vulnerable and sharing like, here's where something went really wrong. I lost the biggest contract. I didn't know what to do, and then how they overcame it. Where when you get to some of the really big events, it's like each event size will have a different value, but the size that we're at is quite special because it's
intimate.
It's intimate. Everyone gets to know everybody and really, and think of some of the feedback that we've heard from the contracts people won and all the rest. So for me, it was like the food was amazing. Like there's all these things that are amazing. The speakers were epic. But also when you looked at the audience and you could hear the questions and like how in tune and how open everyone was, I was like, it was really special.
Yeah. That to me was probably the biggest takeaway, right? And the feedback that we had gotten from that first one is the camaraderie that was built from that actual event is phenomenal, right? Because there's this perception, this persona, right? When it comes to our industry, everybody looks at their competition as these evil companies that you do want to steer away from, whatever the case may be. But what we saw, because of the smaller setting, is this intimacy, right? Where you can actually speak to other business owners and build this relationship that has been, that has been everlasting, right? You look at you look at these conversations that we see happening today, and they were built from that event, right? So I love the camaraderie that was built around that. I love the engagement, right, that we saw in that event. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what's to come for this next one.
What about you, Rick?
No, I mean it showed me what again. Putting a show on in 3 weeks, I didn't know what to expect. So I hope this works. My ass is on the line here. But no, and think about it, we had people from 20 different states, right? Just come. I mean, they were coming with just expectations of, I think, was just to see something different and learn from people that, because it was a lot of more of a social media group of cleaning business owners, right? Where again, there are bigger, larger size events that you can go to, but there's not that many. So this may have fallen at the right time at the right place. But when they came, I think they felt like a boutique style of feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
And right away you see everybody talking, right? And the goal is, especially us with on the Roselato side, is we're big on affiliate partners, subcontracted. So we already know how to speak to the clean, like we know how to break the ice to talk to a cleaning company to make not be scared or not be competitive.
Yeah.
But as they were talking, like you said, Michael, like they were vulnerable. Like they actually could raise the question that they had because they dealt with it yesterday, right? Remember Omar?
Yeah. Oh my God.
One account was like sharing it with everybody. Like there was a live, contract being won in the room.
I love that. Really quick. Shout out to Omar. If you're watching this, shout out to you, man. He had a goal in mind, right? And that goal was, I need to get help. Right. And because of this event and because of the environment that we had built, the openness, right, receiving everybody with open arms, he established that goal. Right. And then said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I get this done. Yeah. So put me off to the side and, talk through a couple things. And
people may not know that. Like, you to the side.
He quite literally. I went to the restroom. I have to call you out for this, but I went to the restroom and he's waiting off to the side. But I love his determination behind it, right? So he had a goal. He had a contract that he needed help with, right? So that determination and that goal that he had set, he pulled me off to the side and we were able to run through some numbers and put some things together. By the time it was all said and done, by the very next day, he won a contract for $580,000 in additional annual revenue, right? Yeah. So it's huge, right? And I love that we were able to open up the space for, companies to come together and speak on things like that. So
this is why when you get too big of an event, again, there's nothing wrong with large events. They all bring something different, but if it's too big, I find when I go to those events, I only meet like a very small pocket of people. But with 100 people there, you actually
everybody met everybody.
Everybody met everybody.
That was really cool, man. That was really cool.
And so you have a chance to network, like literally network, and like I've got this problem right now.
to move to this next one that's coming up now is Michael, because we've been planning this now. Is what would you say you learned from that event that we're doing differently this time around, or just what should people expect this coming event?
So it's funny. So we're having the same venue. We want more time with the vendor partners, because what we found was people are asking things about chemicals, they're asking things about some of the equipment, and so they could walk by it quickly. But so we're going to be creating more space for people to engage.
We're not like a table, they're behind. Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, like your traditional,
so
hey,
like,
get a business card and
put it in front of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing that, which will be, I think, great for the sponsors and vendors, but also great for all the attendees. A little bit more networking time as well. But the other thing is, what we're doing the same is, instead of getting it, like we sold out in a week last time. Yeah. So instead of saying, hey, let's get 500 companies, we're actually intentionally keeping it at that size, which I think is really special, because
we'll lose the intimacy.
Everything with growth is like, you want to do more and more and more. It's like, actually, we want to have more events, but keep them to the right size, because it's so impactful. Yep. So I think that's,
Yeah. So that's something for people to expect. Like, if you liked what happened the first time around, expect the same thing almost 10 times over, because you should meet a whole new group of new people. You should get to touch equipment, feel equipment, understand chemicals, right? The speakers, be tough to outdo what we did last time, but we think we got even more speakers coming this time. We talk about our keynote speaker.
Well, and I'll also say we did a call for speakers.
Oh yeah.
And it's like,
didn't do that last time.
We didn't do that last time. Last time we just asked some people. It was great. We got excellent speakers. This time we did a call, and we have so many speakers, and we don't have space for everyone. And we're like, oh man, okay, so this is really exciting. It shows that there is a need, that people do want to get out and share their information. And so we've picked speakers that like to create the right of flow and right experience. Like, we're not just jamming people in. Like, and last time, same as well. Like, we really wanted a certain flow from mindset, to take people through this journey.
And making sure that we covered every aspect, right?
Yes.
And we're staying true to that, right?
Yeah,
like that was something,
absolutely.
because it's, every, like, almost like if you go there for the 2 to 3 days, you could take a piece of every speaker session and implement it.
And then build on it, right? Build a strategy plan from it, instead of just focusing on one thing or the other. Absolutely.
And this time we have, of course, a keynote. So Richard, who went from janitor to executive at Frito-Lay's, and then, which I think Pepsi bought out, so he became an executive there, and invented Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Like,
which
so he's
I
going
love.
to come and
we will have a lot of Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Absolutely, yes,
for everybody. Yeah.
So it's awesome. Those are kind of those inspiring stories that we want to hear about. So it's like we're really checking the boxes on like the actual knowledge, the things that are inspiring. You want to share about Mike coming in on the fireside? Yeah.
So we're going to have Mike coming on the fireside. So Mike is Mike Boomrot from GDI. Just again, because if you'll start to learn, you know what Cleaning Cocktails is about: storytelling, sharing stories.
Yeah.
His story is another story, just like Richard's, as far as it shows you how to get past adversity or the stigma or perception of, oh, you own a cleaning company? Oh, that's awesome. That's great. It's cute. You hear that and you're like, no, the dick could grow. This guy built out.
He did it.
Over $100 million business to an exit to, he's just a wealth of knowledge, wealth of resource, young, second generation, has a lot to offer. He gets fired up talking about, so it's, and now he's fireside chat, he gets fired up. It's going to be a great moment to hear that story and kind of pump you up for the next day, right? Because we're being very strategic on how we set up the flow of the conference, because we want the people to be there both days, ready, full of energy, and just a lot of coffee. Be ready. A lot of coffee.
And hot Cheetos.
Yeah. So why is this event important, or line of events important for you?
Yeah, it's interesting. So because when I owned my cleaning company, I didn't know about ISSA. I didn't know about BSC. I didn't know about any of these things. And so I find there's so many cleaning companies in all of these different markets, and everyone's just sitting there, oftentimes like alone.
They're lonely.
And so it's interesting, like our events are small in a sense that we're not inviting thousands of people. But the more we host these events, so you get the value for everyone who shows up, but also more people are going to find out about this. Like, you don't have to be, stuck alone, feeling like you don't know who to ask. And so I think it works into the live event, the content we create. It just, again, it's all about everyone in the industry finding out, like, there are easier ways than doing it alone.
Community.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's exactly what I was going to bring up. I think if I were to sum it up in one word, right, as to why I want to be a part of something like this is the community aspect, right? At the end of the day, being an entrepreneur or business owner is difficult, right? So who is there to support you, especially when there's this stigma in the industry that everybody's a competition? Who do I lean on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So being able to provide that support system, right, that extra arm, right? So that to me was by far like the most value add prop that you can think of, right? Is how are we doing that, right? What can I do to be a part of that solution? So everything that we're able to provide as a unit, right, individually, I think that in itself is it's something to speak for, right? So I love everything that we're doing, and everything that be involved. So
nice.
What about you, Rick? What's in it?
So
like,
I mean, dude, you got community, right? It's the same. I think it's just you guys hear it across the board of what we're doing, because again, this industry's done so much for me, right? It's allowed me to meet you guys, meet everybody that's in this room. My family's been positively impacted by this space. And people assume it's an easy business. It's a hard business. I mean, you got to know, HR, payroll, sales, finance. Like if you're doing it alone, it's you said lonely. So trying to help everybody level up. You guys hear me talk about it all the time. Level up. Our saying that we've all been, kind of echoing now is stronger together, right? Yeah. Like this event speaks to that. Yeah. But for you guys to know too is just more stuff we're doing, right? We actually have a website, right? We launched the website for events, cleaningandcocktails.com. On the website, you will see bios, speakers, a little bit about the event, the dates, May 24th to 26th in Chicago, a hotel booking, reception, pretty impressive. We're actually,
it's a professional conference.
We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing this time around. Not that, we didn't know what we were doing before, but that's how serious we're taking it, right?
Yeah.
We're setting this out time. We're dedicating our commitment and time to the industry and doing it for everybody that's watching.
Well, I'm in Chicago right now in preparation for all this. You know what I mean? So it's like,
all the way from where?
Don't hold it against me, but yes, I am Canadian.
So, but we're not done. We're not done yet, right? Yeah. Let's talk about ISSA back here in Chicago. Let's talk about the BSCI show in Chicago.
It's a big year in Chicago.
It's a big year in Chicago.
Absolutely.
But for a lot of you that don't know who ISSA or BSCI is, again, you should. They are the large organizations that put on a great event, right? Yeah. 800 exhibitors, great speakers. It's a different level of a conference and an event where we look to work with them, right? To push the attendees that we have so that they're aware of those type of shows, because that's another undertaking. Absolutely. That right now today we're focused on the small business, the medium-sized business to get to the next level where we're going to have a booth there, right? Our booth is going to be a badass booth.
It is.
More officially combined than ever before.
Yes. The first time around, if you guys saw us in Vegas, we were in the booth. But was the booth actually No,
it wasn't. It wouldn't.
We're not equipped to handle three companies.
No.
Let's put it like that.
Yeah. And in the past years that we've been at ISA, we've had the small, 10-foot booth, where this year, like, we're on an island. Like, we actually have a 20 by 20. We're creating the experience for that. We're looking at having another event in Chicago, another experience. Like when we were in Vegas, we had which was awesome, the penthouse. The penthouse
everything except for the
strip.
Tiger.
Yeah, everything except for the Tiger. So, we'll be looking at doing something similar to that, probably a little bit different here, but it was, probably over the river. But yeah, it was amazing. And then that evening when we were in Vegas, we're at this beautiful penthouse, and we were kind of standing up, chatting with everyone. It's like, we're proud to be in this industry. Like, look at us. Like, we're in the cleaning industry. Yeah. Like you say, sometimes people look down on you. It's like, no, we're professionals. We're building companies. We're, shaping our communities. We're making this impact. And we all had a great night celebrating. And I think that's, again, a lot of what we're about.
Where the shift of this industry is going. And we're
just,
ambassadors. We're ambassadors of the industry. So we on that note, we'll have a lot more to talk about on the show. We're, again, in preparation for that. But first and foremost, it's the Cleaning and Cocktail Show, guys. Yeah. So super excited. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I love the energy and the synergies we have. Again, this is not the norm for our space. So thank you guys for being here. I say let's do it. Cheers.
Absolutely.
Right?
Salute.
All right, guys. Thank you.